Today's Style File highlights a huge buzzword in the beauty world. If you haven't yet heard the word strobing, let us fill you in. Strobing is a focus on highlighting makeup, specifically on areas where light would naturally hit your face, like cheekbones, brow bones, and your forehead. The goal is to make your complexion look radiant, fresh, and healthy, and it's quickly becoming the hottest beauty craze around. I'm guest host Courtney Orton, filling in for Brooke today, and here to help us learn all about this new technique is Studio 5 style contributor Megan Moore. So is strobing like contouring?
It's actually the anti-contouring.
Okay.
So they're two different techniques. Contouring, we know, is about creating shadows, right? We're using a dark color to define our cheekbones and underneath the jawline. Strobing is on the opposite side of that, where we're using a light color, a highlight. So we're bringing out all of the round parts of the face, where the light would naturally reflect if you had a big spotlight on your face. All those places, so on top of the cheekbones, down the bridge of your nose. So we're actually giving dimension to the face, but in the opposite way of contouring.
Okay, so where they're so different, are you gonna use them together?
Typically not, because if you do both, it can really look too fake, over the top, right? If we have really defined cheekbones and then really glowy on top, sometimes we just look like it's too much. So this is a technique that I love to recommend in the winter.
Okay.
Summer's great for contouring because we have a natural tan, those shadows come through naturally, whereas in the winter, we don't really have a lot of that pigment in our skin. So going to the highlight is a great time during the winter months.
Okay, so leave behind the contouring and move over to strobing. And you've brought a model, Jade, here today to show us how to actually make this happen on your face.
So I brought a few of my favorite products. There's different things you can do. You can do a powder, a cream, or a liquid.
Okay.
The powders tend to be more subtle, and then liquid's gonna be a little bit more drastic. So Jade doesn't have anything on her face yet, so we're gonna add a few. So one of my first favorite ones that I brought is this cream contour. This is by ColourPop. Okay, and so this is a beautiful cream consistency, and we're gonna take it and we're just gonna add it right on the tops of her cheekbones. So this is the biggest place that we're gonna see this pop of light. If there was a spotlight on her face, it would hit on the tops of her cheekbones first.
And do you like a cream for this first step?
I do. I think a cream is kind of the easiest one to use because you can use it with your finger, you can blend it in. So I'm just putting it right underneath the brow bone there and even a little bit on top, mostly concentrated there. And then with whatever's left on my finger, sometimes I'll go down the bridge of the nose because again, light would hit there. Isn't that pretty? So you can really see that light really pop off her face.
And this particular cream has a little bit of a pinky tint to it. Is that something that you want to look for?
Yeah, you want to avoid anything that's silvery or icy because then you can really look 80s, like that dates us. So we want to keep it warm. If you have a darker complexion, you can even go into something that's more bronzy. This is a powder one I'll use on the other side. This is by The Balm.
And this is a really light bronze compared to what you might use as a bronzer.
Exactly. So it just has that like kind of champagne color in it. Again, on the tops of the cheekbones, up here above the eyebrow, just a little bit of shimmer. So this side doesn't have quite as much shimmer.
It's not as dramatic, but it's still really pretty.
Isn't that really pretty? So it brings all the focus, all the light onto the center part of her face, whereas contouring is really creating lines underneath and all her shadows. So this is really the opposite. You can see that now that we've got it on her face.
Okay, and now you've put it so under the eyes and down the nose a little bit and just right above the brow.
Another fun place that you can add it is at the Cupid's bow, which is that little divot right above the lip.
Okay.
So you can add it there. It gives the illusion of a fuller lip, and it's another place that light reflects that we don't always think about. So that's another fun place to add it, just to relive that little pop of glow right there.
So is this an everyday look? Is this something that you're just doing when you're going out? How are we wearing this?
It depends on how much makeup you wear normally. I wear a little bit of it every single day. If you're gonna do the full face, it might be something great for a night out, for a date night, something like that. And again, in the winter time, it's really great because we're feeling dull and lackluster, so this is a great time to add it.
Okay, and give you a little
pop.
A little pop.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about the other product that you brought here.
This other one is a great one. This one is the Master Strobing Liquid by Maybelline. And this one, again, is super over the top. So a beautiful, and this one comes in lots of colors. So if you are somebody that's a darker complexion, you can get in the bronze tones with this. And you can see this one really pops over the top. gorgeous, and you're just gonna use a brush to kind of blend that one.
What is this brush?
This brush is actually it's called an Artiste Brush, so it's like it almost looks like a toothbrush, just the shape of it, but it's very dense, and so it blends really well. So when you're using something that's super poppy like that, you really want to use a nice brush to blend it in.
Okay, and you're still using that in the same places.
Yep, absolutely.
So you've used different products in different places, it's really just a matter of how much you want on the face.
Yeah, totally personal preference. Again, liquid's gonna be really bright, powder's gonna be more subtle, so play around with it, try a few different things, but the placement's all the same, just really accentuate all the curves of the face.
Okay, and this is just going over your foundation.
Yep, it's kind of the last touch. It's almost like the jewelry to your makeup.
Okay, add a little shimmer and shine. Okay, one last time on these products. You've got the balmy one.
Yep, so this is by ColourPop, and this is their cream highlight. And then this powder one is by The Balm, and it's called Mary Luminizer.
Okay.
And then lastly, we talked about the Maybelline Master Strobing Liquid. So they're all pretty affordable, something that you can find in the drugstores, and they're really fun to play around with. So I highly recommend trying it.
Okay, great tips for winter. Thanks so much, Megan. We can find you at the Beauty Snoop as always.
Yes, thanks.
Okay.